Okay. Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, episode 186. I'm reviewing the 186th episode of the anime, which is kind of in a way getting toward the end of this arc. This is basically how you use it. This adapts pretty much from the rest of chapter 21, and they go through almost the entirety of chapter 22, with the exception of the last 6 pages. Now, pretty much they go through their plan, basically, to defeat Ao, where, of course, Kisuke is hiding. He has to hide because he's not much of a fighter, but he is a scientist. So they need his brains to keep him alive. So, also the dog is here. Yeah, this dog is an original character, and he does not appear in the chapter at all. And then we have the big fight where we have Konohamaru, Misuke, and Sadara. Of course, Sadara, the only change with her is her outfit. In the anime, she's wearing her regular attire. In the manga, it's a completely different outfit. But aside from that, it's pretty faithful to the source material. Like, they threw many different attacks, lightning and fire attacks just to wear him down. And then Boruto comes in with his, lightsaber, to take him down. Yep. And eventually the thing does damage, so he takes off, so he summons out mirror drones, and everybody spends a lot of time dodging these damn things, and then Boruto takes a lot of them, first, launch them in the air using paper bombs to take them all out, and then using a combination of water and various other things to beat all the drones, and then he uses a Rasengan to destroy the arm that, Mugido used, Ao used to kill Mugido, destroys the arm, and then he basically hits him again with the Rasengan and defeats him. Now, during this fight, there's lots of exchange of dialogue, really good. And I love the exchange of dialogue there between how we have Boruto and Ao, where mentioned about how he used to be a shinobi, the fact he had to retire due to, the reason is pure and simple. He had to retire due to, the fact he couldn't move, and the fact he showed him actually when he first, right after he woke up. This is probably before he met Dr. Kisuke. And and of course, the thing is, Ao was actually very impressed with Boruto with his resolve. And there's even a callback in this episode in the fight to, I think it was the previous episode, where Ao had a screwdriver to Boruto's neck, and here again with a laser, and lucky enough, of course, that they're able to deflect that off. Yep. Also in the fight, he switched out what having one of his shadow clones wore the gauntlet, and then, of course, he eventually beats, Ao. And, of course, they're also in the fight. Konohamaru is briefly injured via sort of like a landmine, but he lives, no problem. And then pretty much when Ao defeats, everything's oh yeah, we're pretty much about done here. And they say, okay, we're gonna take them back to the village and we're gonna call it back up and take it back to the village. Okay. And then we have Ao looking up on top of the building who was over there? Kajiro Koji. And the episode ends with him summoning a steam toad. You don't see what it looks like as you actually end on Boruto's face, which very good cliffhanger. So we're probably gonna wrap up this arc with the very next episode. Or probably going to stretch it out to the following episode. Who knows? But this was a damn good episode. And I can't wait for next week. I mean, the best thing about this episode, if you watch it, the best thing about this episode is the dialogue. The dialogue is so good and such interesting to listen to. It builds upon stuff, basically, that's going on in this arc. And mentioning stuff from Naruto Shippuden, which I think is fantastic. And this arc proves the reason why the manga is really good. Yes. Though a lot of people don't like the anime very much, but the manga proves the manga is really good. The manga's got pretty good dialogue. The dialogue they keep... here's the thing. The exchange between Boruto and Ao is pretty almost spot on from the manga. I think that they do some lines here and there in the original, but mostly put a lot of the stuff presented in this anime, this episode, is straight from the manga with very little change to it. Well, the only main change is adding a character and Stardust different outfit. Oh, there is one other change, and that's Misuke's arms. Because in the manga, his little sleeve he wears stops basically his forearm. It doesn't stretch with his body. Here, they do make a slight artistic change where his arm is now completely black. It's not white whenever it stretches. Which that's a mild change. It's not something people can complain about. But all in all, great episode. And I can't wait for next week. Okay, so that's a particular review. Next review, Akama Corner, discussing two Spider-Man trades. One of whom happens to be the last book he worked at Marvel before he left. Your final book it is next. Okay, this next video. Bye.